FNCS group stages started back up again, and in today's video I'll be going through the results of Division 1 Round 1 and 2 in EU and NA. There's been multiple true switch ups, so it'll be interesting to see where these teams will end up. There was only 157 teams playing in Division 1 this time around for EU, which is an insanely low amount. This is because many teams have decided to split up and find new tiers as a result, making them go down to Div 2 or 3. But I've also heard some players chose to play Div 2 intentionally, since you get more PR if you place higher. Anyways, let's move on to the leaderboard. Starting off with EU first place for day 1 was Chap's team, and he's only 15 years old. And he even offered to play with MrSavage. They got 456 points with 1 win after 8 games played, and also a 21 kill second. Second place was MrSavage's team with 435 points in 9 games and 4 wins. Very impressive, but couldn't get enough kills each game. Third was Noah Riley's team, having 411 points in 9 games and 3 wins. They seemed to struggle at the start but brought it back. Fourth place was Tayson's team with 408 points in 7 games but 0 wins. This team came second twice and is a strong trio but just couldn't pull off what they wanted. Fifth place was Queasy's team. They got 398 points in 9 games and 1 win, also getting very high kill games. So all of the top 5 was very close on points, but that's how it is on EU since the skill gap is harder than other regions. I won't go through all the teams, only the notable ones, so continuing on we have Buckley's team at 6th. They played all 10 games and got 2 wins. They had 3 0 kill games but the rest of the matches earned it back. Teeny's team placed 7th with 363 points, 9 games played and 1 win. Going into the last game they were 2nd on the leaderboard but got 0 points that game, putting them in their spot. And this is a new trio since he dropped Harris for Misha. Thomas HU placed 16th with his new trio. They got 313 points in 7 matches and 1 win. Now I'll break it down. MrSavage and Panzer decided to drop Mongraal because he wasn't sure what he wanted to do in competitive. After that, Panzer left Savage for Thomas HD since he was looking for free, and Teeny, like I said, dropped Heroes, so now that's the new trio. I don't think they'll be FNCS winners, but definitely a notable team. Seti's team placed 21st, and I know these are fan favourites. They got 305 points in 8 games and 1 win. MrSavage's team placed 54th with 245 points in 10 games and 0 wins. This trio didn't have much vibes going on and I could tell the chemistry just wasn't there, so I won't be surprised if we see Savage with a new trio next week or in the near future, even though he is hesitant. But it's the smart play to try out different trios now rather than 1 week leading up to finals. Also, most endgames they were struggling on Surge. Just behind them was Veno's team, the last FNCS winners, with 243 points in 10 games and 0 wins. This is partly because they're landing at a heavily contested POI, which is Crime City, and they still need to get used to it, and they hardly made endgame as a result. Lastly, Mongraal's new trio came 136 with 113 points in total. This was his first time playing the new season and his first tournament in weeks. They died off spawn a couple games and struggled in endgame to get points. Anyways, lots of teams had a rough start this week because they're trying out new trios, but also since less people are playing in Division 1, the lobbies are more stacked and harder to get points. Week 1 is more of a tester week and less serious compared to the final stages, but still interesting to watch nevertheless and see where teams play so we can figure out how they're doing and what needs working on. Now let's move on to NA Central Division 1 Day 1. There's been many trios split ups on this side as well, the main one being Poyo. He's now trioed up with Peerball and Cold. Also in Central, I feel like the skill gap is very small but big at the same time. For example, in the top 5 we usually see the same names popping up, but the point difference is crazy. Anyways, let's check the leaderboard. First place was Clix's trio with 460 points. They played 7 games and got 2 wins. I feel like the team always does well early on, but when it comes to grands it turns out a bit different. Second place was Akon's team. He now has a new trio since Poyo dropped him. They got 442 points in 10 games and 3 wins despite this. Third was Maz's team, having 420 points in 8 games and 2 wins, one of them being a 20 bomb. Fourth place was Sunita's team, some new faces in the top leaderboard. They played 8 games and had 1 win. They also got 2 seconds and a third. Fifth was Quantity's team, having 390 points in 7 games and 2 wins, but they had very low eliminations. And 6th place was some EU faces on the scene. Seti's team with 388 points in 9 games and 2 wins, which you gotta respect them for grinding cross region. Peerball's team placed 14th with 9 games and 0 wins. In open tournaments like this they just go for high kill games, and as a result was the second team with the highest eliminations. The most kills in a match was 28, coming 8th that game. Just a couple points ahead of them in 12th place with a 4 points difference as Boltz's new trio, Yapka and Rapid. They got 350 points in 9 games and 1 win. This is definitely a strong team if they get their chemistry together. Some other notable teams are G-Money's trio, placed in 18th. They got 333 points in 10 games and 2 wins. And lastly, Canada's new trio, Big and Threats, they placed 30th with 272 points, 8 games played and 0 wins. Now it's time to move on to round 2 for EU. Let's see if the leaderboard has changed and if any struggling teams have made a massive comeback. Since the leaderboard is glitched on Fortnite Tracker, I'll go through how the team's done in round 2, then afterwards what place in the alternative leaderboard. First place was Pix's team. The whole trio is only 16 years old. They got 478 points in 9 games and 4 wins, qualifying them to finals early. Second was MrSavage's team. They got 434 points in 10 games and 2 wins, and was the third team with the highest eliminations. Third was Dennis's team. He's only 15 as well and qualified an hour early, having 409 points in 8 games and 2 wins. Fourth place was Chap's team. They got 404 points in 9 games and 0 wins. Fifth place was Grippy's team with 371 points in 9 games and 2 wins as well. Now let's move on to the real leaderboard. MrSavage's team placed first with 869 total points. Just 6 wins behind them was Chap's team, having 860 points. They just got less eliminations. Third was Demus's team. They got 762 points in total. Just shows you have to have a good round 1 and 2 or you won't get a spot you wanted, but still good and got the podium. Fourth was Malibuka's team. They got 721 points total, but less points going into round 2, giving them the spot. Fifth place was Queasy's team. They got 713 points. They most likely weren't happy with this outcome, but can only do better in finals. Some other notable teams that qualified were Seti's team. They placed 7th, having 663 points, and Reason has qualified to finals as well with his new trio. They placed 8th and had 651 points. From a bad day 1, which was Veno's team, they managed to get a comeback, securing a spot in finals, which I'm sure they're happy about, but was way too close. Mongraal's team ended up placing 104th and done better in round 2, but this wasn't enough to qualify them. They aren't now yet and still have other chances. And lastly for Savage's team, they placed 73rd, no call for them as well. Also MrSavage's team eliminated Mongraal for the first time since splitting. Now for NA round 2, Muz's team placed first with 408 points with 9 games and 2 wins. They got good eliminations and placed well. Vortex seems some new faces on the leaderboard. They placed 2nd with 395 points in 7 games and 1 win. And first place was Sin's team. They got 389 points in 7 games and 2 wins. It seems in round 2 for NA most pros team performed well as compared to day 1, which is surprising. Fourth place was Havoc's team. They got 375 points in 8 games and 1 win. They got 2 second places as well. Fifth place they made a comeback from round 1, which was Canada's team. They got 374 points. This was in 8 games and 3 wins. Clix's team had a rough day 2, getting 0 wins and 12th place as a result, but they also left early to play West servers, as well as Peerboard's team who placed 13th with 325 points, just 1 point behind them. First place was Muz's team, which is no surprise since they done well on both days, ending on 828 points. Despite Clix's truly bad performance in day 2, altogether they placed 2nd with 786 points. At 3rd place was Donny's team, having a huge day 2, winning 4 games. Now let's cover the notable teams. Peerboard's trio came 7th, qualifying to finals despite struggling on day 1. They ended up on 671 points. Kuba's team placed 10th with 647 points, and surely upon you can see Canada's team also Acorns. It seems like lots of pros are struggling and aren't used to the meta just yet, and it's no surprise, because in this format, if everyone in your trio doesn't have a bat, you won't be able to rotate an endgame or will burn all your mats in the process. Seti's team, if you didn't know, plays on the U and qualified for finals as well on NA. Anyways, lots of teams need to adapt to this current format and work out their weak points. Thanks for watching, and let's see how these teams perform in the future. I'll see you next video guys, peace.